Okay, so you're just going to cut off this piece that we're going to be using here. Hold your cloth very firmly on both sides. Hold your scissors straight up. Okay, so now we're going to cut our paper pattern, and it's advisable to use a paper pattern even though you may not use this pattern again, because if you make a mistake, you can just throw this piece of paper away and cut another pattern. If you do it on the cloth, you're going to waste your cloth. So we're going to fold this in half. Why are we folding this in half? Because if you look at your pattern for the top of this uniform, and you draw a line, a straight line, running down the center of this top, you realize that both sides are the same. It's a symmetrical design. So we're going to fold the paper along this line in half, and whatever we cut on this side, when we open the paper again, we will get the same thing on the other side. So that's how we're going to cut that. So we're going to go to the shoulders. It says 11 inches across, right? We have to fold it in half. So we're going down here. Now it's going to be a bit of a slant. So we want to decide how much slant, how slanted should it be. And usually I would go 3/4 inches from the top. Right, so let me make a little mark at 3/4 inch. So I know it's thereabouts, not the averaging, right? But thereabouts should be the slant. From the tip to about that point would be the kind of slant that you're looking at. So again, we go to fold our tape. As I said, my tape does my maths for me. We fold our tape. We are using 1/4 inch on either side of that pattern for seam allowance. So 1/4 plus 1/4 is 1/2. So we actually have to add 1/2 inch to our shoulder measurement so that we have comfortable seam allowance on both sides of the uniform. So 11.5, I fold it in half. So I just make sure my tape is direct on 11.5. I fold it in half properly. You have to do this properly. If you are using your tape, you must do this properly. Don't let it shift out and fold it in you know, it's not folded properly. You will get the wrong measurement. If you're using your tape, you have to fold it precisely so that you get what you are looking for. So we start from the tip here towards that slanted point I put there, and I make a mark where I want to stop. I want to stop about there at that point, and then so I can just take my measuring tape just to help me draw a straight line, or a ruler, or you can just draw it freehand if you're that good. Right, we're stopping right here. This is where the shoulder is going to stop. So now we're going to plot the half shoulder measurement, which according to those measurements taken, it's 2.5 from the edge. Now remember, we have our 1/4 inch seam allowance. So we leave all that 1/4 inch there. So let's see if we can find out what that 1/4 inch is here for seam. And then we plot our 2.5. 2.5 for the half shoulder. Right? 2.5 for the half. So here is where our neckline is going to start. Alright? You might wonder, you know, how do I make my curve? How low should it be? This is an overall. This is going to go over a shoot. So it doesn't have to be up close. It can be a bit free. So to get it the way I got it there, you could probably do 2 inches down on the middle of the neck. Make a mark and then you just make a nice curve. Alright? So that's over the back, because the front is going to be cut differently. So we're going to find what length. We're going to measure the length of this top now. We said it was 11 days. Now I realized when I looked at my niece, this uniform is for her, 11 was a bit low. So I'm going to leave 11. I'm not going to add in any extras for seam allowances. I'm going to allow 11 to be the mark, and after I sew it up, right, the 1/4 inch here, and a 1/4 inch will come off again because you have to sew in the shoulders. It's going to be about 10.5, and I think that will be that's a better measurement for me as to where her waist will lie. So I'm going to leave 11, but usually we take the length of top measurement and we add 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch for the seam allowance at the underneath, 1/4 inch for seam allowance at the top. So we usually add 1/2 inch to our length of top measurement. I'm not doing that in this case. I'm just going to plot the 11 right there. So that's where the 11 goes. I'm just going to kind of draw a straight line across here. Like I said, I'm just using my measuring tape. Now, the next thing we want to find out, is how we're going to come on this side. If you look at the pattern, it is slanted inwards a bit. So we need to decide how much we're going to slant it. Now some people just play it by eye. You know, they just look at it and say, you know what, this kind of looks good. You know, some people do that. But if you want to know exactly how it's done, if you don't trust yourself to make a good average, try to draw a parallel line first, parallel line to the edge here. Right, a straight line down then, no slants. And then you take a measurement from that inward. So it should be about 1.5, I would say, right? So I was a bit, I came in a bit. So let me just adjust that. Right, you can adjust it or you can leave it as it is. It's not too bad. When I cut it and I open it, now a lot of the times you have to look at your patterns. You have children that are different sizes, children who are more slim, children who are more wide, and you need to make adjustments. If you're a seamstress, you need to be able to make adjustments. So there's no, sometimes there's not no, there's no hard and fast way of using a pattern. Sometimes you put the pattern on the child and you say, you know what, it doesn't fit, it doesn't make the child, it doesn't enhance or make the child look better, it doesn't make her shape bigger. If I widen something a bit, or shorten something a bit, or lengthen something a bit, it will look better on her, on that child, that person. So we have to be flexible. As a seamstress, we have to be flexible. Not everyone is not shaped the same way. So when we open this pattern, we will rest it on our child and say, you know what, if she's a bit thin, maybe she should come in a bit more, maybe she should come out a bit more. Feel free to make those kinds of adjustments, but understand that, you know, you're sort of keeping it really shaped, it's slanted inwards somewhat, right? We're going to work on the neckline now, which is also slanted inwards, and we want to not make it too deep, but not too high, because the child's head has to fit through there and there's no opening on the back or front. The opening is on the side, so the child's head must be able to go through to get into this uniform. That's it. So I'm looking at it, I'm saying maybe like 5 inches down would be fine. Again, I could just play it by ear, you know, by eye, and I could just look at it and make a slant. Or I could show you how we can come up with a nice slant. So let's go straight down first, no slants. Let's go down to, let's say, about 5 inches, might be it, for this child. And then maybe we could slant inwards, maybe like 1.5 inches inwards. So then we're going to take a straight line and come down like this. And then we go across. So when I look at it, I look at my, you know, how I want my uniform to look. It looked like this is the way that I wanted to look. So I'm going to cut this pattern now. Right? So I'm going to take it and just rest it here. And cut another pattern around it. Now you can do this 2 ways. You can cut it or you can trace it. If you are cutting it, stick to your pattern. If you're doing it for the first time, it might be a better idea to trace it. Make sure this is directly on the edge, or else the other one will be too big. Right. Pins, and so we have our back pattern. Right, this will be back up. And now I could remove this piece to make my front pattern. Right, I already cut my back pattern. I'm going to remove this one piece. Let me just put it together again. Just for those who will be doing it for the first time, you want your paper to be shifted while you do this. So now for the opening. So we'll see what we're going to see what we were doing really. We open it. Wow, this is the back. Looks great. And we open. This is the front. Yeah, it looks like the uniform that we have on the the board.